You guys know recently a hot topic in sports, and in particular NBA, was players resting during the regular season. In particular, the main guy or the face of that was LeBron James, right? So recently, Dennis Rodman was asked his position on this, and as with most older players or retired players, he has a problem with it. And Dennis Rodman said, "You know what? LeBron's doing one thing that I always said that Michael Jordan never did. He never rested. He played every game. He played every game. LeBron has the position to do this now because they need him. The league needs him. That's why he's doing all this crazy shit now, like bitching and complaining and all this bullshit." So, you guys know who came to LeBron James's rescue in this war of words. None other than Charles Oakley. And he went to Twitter to deliver his retort. And he said, "Dennis Rodman, stop it. You wasn't a tough guy. I think LeBron is smart. You don't have to be tough to play basketball in this wedding dress." So, that's, of course, is a knock, excuse me, at Dennis Rodman when he infamously came up at a book signing back in the mid-1990s when he played with the Chicago Bulls wearing a wedding dress and with makeup and all that stuff. And, Dennis is Dennis, man, whatever. One thing I do notice, right, just my opinion, I noticed Charles Oakley, I got to really make sure I don't say Charles Barkley because I have a tendency to interchange their names. Charles Oakley has a tendency to lash out at other players that he played against, right, who are Hall of Fame bound or in the Hall of Fame or are more celebrated than he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at his situation with James Dolan and how you feel like they're disrespecting him, which I think the Knicks and James Dolan are. Okay, the fact that he was left out the 75th anniversary of the New York Knicks and he has to buy tickets when he was, along with Patrick Ewing, the heart and soul of that team for 10 years. Okay? But having said that, I do think that there's an inferiority complex or a jealousy thing going on. You know what I mean? You got Charles Barkley, who he always calls a fake tough guy. Same thing. Charles Barkley doesn't have a championship ring, but neither does Oakley. Charles Barkley is a far better player. Was a far better player than Charles Oakley. All right. Oakley was good. He gets you a double-double, but he was limited in some aspects, okay? Then you got Dennis Rodman, a guy who was probably even more limited in a lot of ways. Well, he was more limited offensively than Oakley, because at least Oakley had that nice little 12 to 14 foot, what was it, 10 to 12 foot jumper he used to shoot. But Dennis Rodman has a better resume, and Oakley was a good rebounder. Dennis Rodman is arguably the greatest rebounder of all time. If not, he's definitely top three. Okay. Dennis Rodman was a beast of a defender, two-time defensive champion, defensive year winner. I have a sense that Oakley has some sort of resentment toward those guys. Like, for instance, if they asked Xavier McDaniel his opinion, I don't think Oakley would have gave a fuck. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest, right? Even though McDaniel was a better player in his prime, in my opinion, than Oakley. But still, McDaniel's not and celebrates those guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he would have gave a fuck. And McDaniel was not a fake tough guy. He won't say that shit to McDaniel. You know what I'm saying? But Rodman was what he was. Okay, Rodman wasn't a guy out there trying to out-muscle people. What I liked about Rodman was he out-thought people. Rodman, Isaiah Thomas said this, and I think Joe Dumas agreed with this as well. For all of Rodman's weirdness, what we see as his weirdness, he was a genius. He said that Isaiah Thomas said that Rodman got to a point when it came to rebounding. Like, Rodman was a decent rebounder, but Bill Laimbeer was the one who taught him how to really rebound from a scientific position. Scientific position, because Bill Laimbeer didn't have a vertical at all. Like, I mean, Bill Laimbeer could barely jump. If you see footage of Bill Laimbeer shooting those three-pointers, he never jumped off the ground, really. All right, but Bill Laimbeer, especially early in his career, was a good rebounder. He would get you 10, 11 boards per game in his prime. Then his minutes went down and he didn't rebound as much, but still, he finished his career over 10,000 boards. So he could rebound. But he was the one who taught Dennis how to rebound from a scientific aspect. And he took what Bill Laimbeer taught him and took it to another level. Isaiah Thomas said that Dennis Rodman could see the spin of the basketball when it's released from a shooter's hand. And usually he could detail from the spin and the trajectory of the ball where that ball would careen off of if it missed. He knew where those rebounds were going to go. And you could see it whenever he played. All right? Now I'm going on to talking a little bit about off topic a little bit, but Dennis Rodman was cerebral. Okay? That's what his gift was. He got into people's heads. He got in there under their skin. And I've seen him get under Charles Oakley's skin quite frequently. So if there's going to be a war of words between these guys, I think that Rodman probably will win this. Even the drunken, brain-celled, shorted version of Rodman, I think, still would win a war of words between these two. But tell me what you guys think about this little tit for tat between two old warriors of the NBA.